Woo! Alright. In today's video I will talk about 5 controversial Hollywood actors. They starting great successes, some even won Oscars and delighted different generations. But behind the scenes, the scenario was different. Strong and conflicting situations with colleagues and directors ended up harming these 5 Hollywood stars. These stars abused their power so much in the industry, so used to everyone doing their wills, that in the end Hollywood got tired and banished them. Edward Norton is the first case. He debuted at the age of 27 in The Two Faces of a Crime, and 2 years later he had accumulated 2 Oscar nominations and was compared, for his animal presence, disturbing and transforming, to Marlon Brando or Robert De Niro. During the post-production of The Other American Story he went into the editing room, leaving the director himself out. The version released had an extra 24 minutes of people hugging, and with Norton expanding his role in the story. As everything went well in the film, became an instant cult, he got the taste of getting his hands on the script. The actor appeared on the set of Red Dragon, with his rewritten scenes, went around saying that he had rewritten the entire script of Frida, produced and starring his then partner, Salma Hayek, and while reading the script for Police Force Nick Nolte himself. So incompatible with him that he ended up abandoning the project early. "I kept telling the actors how we should play our characters," said Nolte in his autobiography. "When I was writing my dialogues, he would yell at me, saying, 'It's just that no father talks to his son like that.' Then I told the director that I couldn't work on the film, because it would break Edward's neck before I even started shooting." When Paramount forced Norton to make a Masters out because his contract stipulated, the actor rebelled, treating the entire team with hostility and refusing to participate in the promotion of the film. He also rewrote the script for The Incredible Hulk, and when he saw that Marvel had rejected almost all of his ideas, boycotted the disclosure. In The Avengers, Norton was replaced by Mark Ruffalo, and Marvel released a statement saying it wanted to work with someone who shares the creative and collaborative spirit of the rest of the cast. Bill Murray is the name that follows. No one personified the resigned cynicism of the 1980s better than he did. The Ghostbusters, Heavy-Duty Recruits, or The Ghost Strike Back have established their image to the point that everything that happens in Spell of Time is funny because it's happening to Bill Murray. On the set of Our Dear Bob, Richard Dreyfuss proposed to modify some dialogues, and, without saying a word, Murray pressed his forehead against Dreyfuss's and said, "Everyone hates you." Then he threw an ashtray at him, huge and glass, and tried to punch him. On another occasion, he threw the film's producer, Laura Ziskin, into a lake during an argument. "He also broke my glasses. I was furious, but over the years I realized that this is the common behavior in Hollywood," she said. In Fida So Do Tempo, he discussed daily with the director, his close friend Harold Ramis, because Murray wanted to give an existential speech to the film and Ramis preferred to bet on comedy. There were rumors that Murray was not happy about being Ramis' second choice, who wanted Tom Hanks on paper. Bill was sometimes irrational and inaccessible. "It was common to be late. I spoke to him as if it were with my children. You don't have to have a tantrum to get what you want, just say what you want," recalled the director in an interview with The New Yorker. The actor even hired as an intermediary deaf and dumb, but when the studio hired its own sign interpreter to communicate with Murray, it found that the actor's intermediary did not know sign language. Murray stopped talking to Ramis for 21 years, which saddened him, the director, and they only reconciled weeks before his death from cancer in 2004. Where are you? My reputation as a tough actor comes from people I didn't like to work with, or people who didn't know how to work or what it means to work, Murray told The Guardian. Jim Jarmusch, Wes Anderson and Sofia Coppola, they know what it's like to work and they know how to treat people. These 3 filmmakers have maintained and elevated Murray's career over the past 2 decades. Although enmities continue to emerge, Lucy Liu tried to attack him when he said, "Why are you here? You don't know how to act," in the middle of shooting The Panthers, whose director said that Murray pressed his forehead against his, apparently being the actor's modus operandi with people he doesn't like. Murray is almost a Zen messiah for the internet and has turned fame into a performance art. It was twice in a row to see the musical Groundhog Day, original name of the movie Fida So Do Tempo, partly as a narrative nod to the story itself, but also because it moved him. He cried and exclaimed, "The idea that we need to keep trying is so beautiful and powerful." Faye Dunaway is the personality that follows. Dunaway evoked the glamour of classic stars and combined it with the psychological intensity of the new Hollywood that emerged in the 1970s. Bonnie and Clyde, A Blast of Bullets, Chinatown and Greedy Intrigues, for which he won the Oscar, built the most brilliant career of the time, but she also earned a reputation of the film industry's toughest actress. Nobody liked Faye. Every time we were ready to shoot, she demanded to be combed again, recalls Estelle Parsons, her colleague at Bonnie and Clyde. "I've never seen such a level of madness," Roman Polanski told Faye during an argument on the set in Chinatown. "I would have questioned my own methods if it weren't for you having had similar confrontations with all your directors," he said. "And who said that?" The actress replied, "Auto-Preminger. Does it matter? He is an asshole." Filming in Chinatown was so tense that, according to rumors, Dunaway even urinated in a glass and threw him a Polanski because he would not allow him to take a break to go to the bathroom even when her career went to space. Because no one wanted to hire her, she continued to behave like an intractable diva. She was furious when she found out that her hotel suite had a handicap ramp that she didn't need. She got in trouble because an airline he refused to accommodate her in the business class. His ticket was in economy class, and forced the costume designer of Mamayas and Hequarita to abandon production in half. "If you wanted to enter her dressing room," said the legendary costume designer Irene Sheriff, "it was necessary to first attract your attention with something very tempting." In this drama film, Dunaway played another actress famous for her difficult temper, Joan Crawford, and her archenemy, Betty Davis, had to suffer from Dunaway herself in Ames' disappearance. "You can put anyone in this chair and everyone will tell you that Faye is totally impossible," Davis told Johnny Carson. A week before the debut of the musical Sunset Boulevard in 1994, the actress was fired by Andrew Lloyd Webber. Faye Dunaway has appeared very little. The last time it was heard of her was in another dismissal recently, in the work TF5, because the producer got tired of her behavior. The actress arrived late, forbade anyone to look at her, including the director and playwright, demanded that no one wear white clothes or move during rehearsals, and threw combs, mirrors and staple boxes at workers. When they cleaned their dressing room, he ordered them to do it on their knees. The resignation occurred when Dunaway hit a woman who tried to put on her wig, and days later her assistant denounced her for emotional abuse. In 2015, Faye Dunaway admitted his bad reputation, pondering, "Yes, I am difficult to deal with, but this is how you pay attention to me." Dustin Hoffman. It is another somewhat controversial actor in the Hollywood sphere. First Night of a Man made the public in general hand the precious label of great actor, which the actors are not so much when they act well, but when they act with great force, and the maximum representative of the method in Hollywood. His generation does not recreated emotions, but searched his past for real feelings. The problem is that they did not remember to warn their colleagues. During the filming of Kramer vs. Kramer, Hoffman improvised tricks like throwing a glass of wine at Meryl Streep, slapping or insulting the actress' boyfriend, the late John Cazale, to also stimulate Streep's traumas in search of greater drama. In the first meeting, Hoffman just birthed and put a hand on her chest, so that from the beginning the tension between the Kramers was based on real events. When the young man who played his son had to look sad, Hoffman came over and whispered stories about the boy's dead dog. "If I'm going to spend 2.5 years involved in a project, I have to be more than a puppet actor," he explained to the Irish Times. "I need to be part of the most creative process." So he demanded to rewrite the scripts and, after signing the contract for The Mystery of Agatha for a 2-scene role, indicated that he should be the protagonist, and spent the entire filming without speaking to his colleague Vanessa Redgrave, who was playing the part by Agatha Christie. However, when other actors proposed changes to him, the creative process did not seem so important. When Meryl Streep suggested that it would be better for his character to explain his motivations before asking for custody of his son, instead of simply asking for it, the director liked the idea, and Hoffman shouted, "Meryl, why don't you stop carrying the flag of feminism and just interpret your scene?" Perhaps it was a reference to the legendary reply that Laurence Olivier gave him during the filming of Death Marathon. Unable to do that intense torture scene, Hoffman confessed to Olivier that he had not slept for 3 days to feel and transmit an authentic evil. Olivier replied, "My dear, and why don't you try to act?" Hoffman never stopped working, albeit less often and on smaller projects, and has retired from public life since in 2017 he was accused of sexual harassment by 7 women. Katherine Heigl is another somewhat controversial actress. Izzy Stevens quickly became the public's favorite character on Grey's Anatomy. Heigl won an Emmy and jumped into the cinema with a series of romantic comedies for which he made a lot of money. The one destined to inherit the title of USA's sweetheart, who had previously been with Julia Roberts, Meg Ryan and Sandra Bullock. Until the public found out that he didn't want her either as a girlfriend or doll. The actress complained about the recording schedules of Grey's Anatomy, which had been modified to adapt to the shooting of her films, withdrew from Emmys because she considered that her character hadn't had a good storyline and stopped going to the studio without warning. He boycotted the promotion of Slightly Pregnant, criticizing the film's machismo. But what made it impossible were its constant demands. Presidential suites in the best hotels, luxury treatment also for his mother, who has been his manager since he debuted in Me Parole, and clauses in his contracts that gave him the right to rewrite the script and approve the entire cast. I've never seen anything like Nancy Heigl, her mother. Everything seems wrong to her, everything she solves with insults and, according to her, everyone is a liar, explained an aide. Heigl returned all the food and clothes they took to her, and when he deigned to appear on the set, it was only for complaints. Heigl tried to come back with 2 series, both cancelled in the first season, and kept his income doing cat food ads in 2013. The Hollywood Reporter published one of these fatal stories for any actor's career, a list of various people's experiences who had to suffer with the actress. "We had a role that was perfect for her at all levels," confessed one producer, "but in the end, we all agreed that it was not worth hiring." The actress now participates in the series Firefly Lane, shown on Netflix. After going through difficult and delicate moments, she is back, doing what she knows best. Thanks for watching the video. If you liked it, subscribe to the channel and share the video. Thank you. God bless you.